In my role as president, I had the distinct privilege of informing the recipients of these awards once they have been officially chosen by the Alumni Association as honorees. Both of today's recipients showed incredible humility and graciousness upon learning of their honors. We start today with the Alumni Service Award. This award honors persons who have made a lasting contribution to the school through their service and leadership. This year's recipient taught at Columbus Academy for 28 years, retired in 2015, and is someone I am fortunate enough, as many of us here are, to call a friend and or mentor. To introduce her, I'd like to ask her son, Glen Wilson, from the class of 1987, to come to the podium. You ready for this, Glen?
Thank you. I already had a volunteer to play the drums in case this turns into a bee poem. It is incredible to be back in Columbus, as always. I love being from this place. I love being a graduate of CA. There are so many awesome faces out here, amazing people, teachers, etc., friends, fresh faces of class of 2017. Congratulations. And obviously, it's a great honor to be here to shed some glow onto a woman who I actually have never taken a class with. I've never sat in her classroom as a student, but you might say that I audited her lessons over the course of, actually, let's see, 28 plus 17. You do the math, that's a number of decades, both in Columbus Public Schools, before she joined the Academy family as a teacher, and then of course at Columbus Academy. There are so many things that I would love to say, and the time is brief. I know they're running a very tight ship here in a wonderful way. So I'm just gonna offer a few snapshots that could kind of fill out what you can read for yourselves in the program in terms of her accomplishments, her professional accomplishments. Snapshots that I've taken in my mind that maybe give a little bit of extra light to the person that is Cindy Wilson, Cynthia Star Wilson, at CStar33 on Instagram. One image that pops into my mind, and I think none of you have this image in your head, so I think it's going to be kind of fun to share with you, is me playing wall ball with some of the other kids in middle school. Maybe it was my freshman year, I can't remember. No, it must have been my freshman year. At any rate, swim practice was over, and I had forgotten my swim cap and my goggles in the car in the morning, so I did swim practice without that. So my red eyes and what have you. I'm with my homies, we're playing wall ball, and then Mom, who obviously has been logged hours and hours driving around Columbus for the various things she was committed to doing, came and picked me up. And as she pulled up in her white Ford Escort, I saw her kind of coming up around the quad. I saw the car, I knew it was my mom, but I saw a white CA swimming cap. And goggles, as a matter of fact. Very kind of retro Amelia Earhart kind of a vibe. And she swung around the quad, pulled up honking and waving to me in front of all my homies, and I was like, so there's my mom. See you guys later. And I got in the car. So I share that image with you because everybody knows that Cindy is a pretty unvarnished person. She's not the person who's out there protesting for fairness and tolerance and inclusivity and all that kind of. She's actually living that life. The decisions she makes, the way she engages with people, the big choices, the professional dedication, the sense of the sense of humility. These are all things that she lives by. And for me, as a student in her life lessons class, this is something that I've always taken away. No matter what you're reaching for from a passion standpoint, no matter how you're hoping to get there, at the basis you have to have decency, and you have to have self-discipline, and you have to have commitment. And I think just about every person in this room, regardless of whether you know her very intimately, as many people do in here, and I'm looking at some beautiful, beautiful faces, her colleagues, her support group, her peers, people I've had the privilege and the pleasure to be students in their classrooms, but to also just know when my brother and I are out in California that she's got these folks who have her back. They know that Cindy Wilson has always had the back of Columbus Academy. You know, she's been at the school, she was at the school for 28 years and as a teacher, and prior to that she was a parent. And I remember sitting in David Block's classroom and even having a couple conversations with David, which is kind of interesting in retrospect, thinking my mom would be really good in this environment. She would really bring something special, because I know that there is nobody else who knows, who's that dedicated in everything she does. And I remember David said, you know, there may be a couple of positions opening up. Do you think your mom might be interested? Because he knew my mother was an art teacher, and it was just kind of a skirmish of a conversation, and lo and behold, I graduated. And before we knew it, Mom had been offered a job at Columbus Academy. So I don't know that Academy understood just how much they were getting when they hired her, but certainly this award reflects a genuine appreciation for what this community, what the lifeblood of this place knows it has received in the person that she is. And I could not be more excited to be here and more overjoyed to cede the podium to my mother, who is just an incredible person, dedicated person, and has given so much to the lifeblood of Columbus Academy, and in fact, actually the creative energy and spirit of Central Ohio. So that's pretty exciting, and I thank Columbus Academy for bestowing this honor upon her. I think it's well-deserved, and I think she really gives substance to the award. So, Mom.
Well, now I'm happy because I don't have to give a speech. You just said it all for me. So good afternoon to everybody here. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And when I look around, it makes me sort of wonder, I do this a lot, how did we all get here? All of us that have taken all these different paths to get to the point where you're at Academy and at this luncheon. And there's so many different directions that your life could go, and so much of it is just by chance, but a lot of it is by choice. So sometimes when these opportunities present themselves and you make the right choice, you're really lucky, like I have been. And I forgot to bring my tissues up here, and I'm sure there are some bets out there as to whether I'm going to get through this. So years ago, I was teaching in the Columbus, it's my daughter-in-law, Stephanie. I was teaching in Columbus, and Jack Chester, the late Jack Chester, convinced me that I should look into sending Glen to Columbus Academy. And luckily I listened to him, and we went for testing. I remember Glen coming out of testing. He was in 7th grade at the time, so he's testing for 8th grade. And I said, so, how did it go? And he said, I feel like my head exploded. So many of you have been through that process. Maybe all of you have been through that process. I'm not sure how it all works, but we made the decision, and so he entered Academy in 8th grade. It was a big change for me and my two boys, but it was a great decision. So when Glenn graduated in '87, he's already told you all this stuff, I remember thinking how much I would miss the school, and I would miss the people that I had met along the way, and the teachers that he was so fortunate to have. And that summer, the summer that followed was really crazy, because Glenn was the editor of the '87 yearbook, and I was the advisor to the Centennial High School '87 yearbook. So there was nothing but yearbook going on at our little condo. And he and his buddies would work at night on the Academy yearbook, and I would work during the day on the Centennial yearbook, and then we'd all get together at night, and they ate me out of house and home. Everything, every ice cube, everything was gone. Of Greg Jacobs and Lowry Sweeney and these guys that were just so talented. So during this crazy summer, I get a phone call from David Block saying, hey, this position just opened up, art and ceramics position just opened up at Academy, and I'm wondering if you're interested in taking it. And I was perfectly happy in Columbus. Centennial's a great high school. And so I thought, well, heck, here's another opportunity, and it's another choice I can make that will not only be good for me, but good for Brian, who was 12 years younger and about to start first grade. So I had one going to college and one starting first grade. So, obviously I took the chance, and the Academy has been a source of inspiration for me ever since. So every time I drive up that driveway, which I love, okay, Glenn told me to breathe when I get emotional. Okay, so I drive up the driveway, I always feel like I'm driving into a package, like a really beautiful package. And then inside this package is all these great students and teachers and coaches and staff. And so, it's great to have a beautiful package, but if nothing special is inside that package, then it's really not worth it, to open it. But Academy's not like that. It's not only been a place of employment for me, but very often has been my family. The kids, the teachers, my peers, my colleagues. Some of my most treasured friendships have been made there. Some of my best memories have been made there. And some of my most frustrating days on earth have been there. I could talk to a few people about that right now. But what more could I have asked as a teacher? I'm teaching something that I love and that I think is essential to the growth and the well-being of all of us in here and for communities, to students who elevated my life every single day. And for parents who were so supportive of me that then, in turn inspired me to do my best. To be surrounded by this beautiful place with people that you really care about, you really can't ask for more if you're a teacher. So yesterday, I ran into John Warren, unfortunately. Hey, John. And he says to me, are you excited about tomorrow? Of course, I've been a nervous wreck since July when I found out about this. So tonight, I think I'm going to get to sleep. And he says, well, what pieces of wisdom are you going to impart upon everyone tomorrow? Oh, and I said, thanks, John. Like I wasn't nervous already, now I have to be wise. So I don't presume to be any more wise than any other people, any of you that are in here, but I will pass on this little piece of advice. It's written on a sign that a student gave me a couple of years ago, and I now have it at home. And it is very appropriate for me, and possibly for you. And this sign reads, life is like a camera. Focus on what is important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negatives. And if things don't work out, take another shot. Well, luckily, my choices in life have worked out for me. I haven't needed to take another shot. Teaching at Academy has been so rewarding that to be given this honor seems somehow redundant. But I am grateful and I'm honored to receive it. So thank you to the Alumni Board and to all who have made such a positive impact on my life. Thank you.